Hey, what's happening, game designers? Here we go. Week 4, iterative design. Iterative design. Okay, ITIVE. How do we spell iterative design? Let's take a look. Iterative design is the design process that any game designer worth its salt is going to use, or company worth its salt is going to use. Um, Here we go. Here's the definition. Iterative design is a design method based on cyclic processing of prototyping, testing, analyzing, blah, blah, blah. Here's what that means. When you're a game designer and you use iterative design, you are going to create a beta version of your game as fast as you possibly can, okay? A beta version is like, get it out there, something that will play with the mechanics and the basic design of what you want the game to do. Okay, the graphics might not be as great as you want them to be yet. You might not have figured out all of the game mechanics exactly like you want to yet. You may have not exactly figured out the best coding possible to do it, the best organization of the game as possible. But what you do is you get a design out there, and then you do new iterations of that design. You redo it, you make it better, okay? Any of you that are avid gamers have probably been beta testers. You've heard that word, beta of the game. You know what that is. It's an early version of the game, okay? So great games go through lots of iterations because you create a version of the game and you play it and you're like, that's not so much fun. What if we did this? That'll improve it, you know? And depending on the game, there's lots of different things that you might change. So it's really the kind of thing that you figure out by playing the game. So I want you guys to understand that and understand the iterative design process. And I'm going to post some article or video for you to comment on this week. And we are going to, those of you that have taken my class before are going to do some iterative design. Those of you that have not taken my class before, you're going to kind of do reverse iterative design. You're going to do a different, you're going to create a text adventure, okay? And the students that have had my class before have already created a text adventure, and they did one through the use of a kind of program called a state machine, which is a very, well, it's not very, but it is an involved program. It takes a lot of, it's a coding intensive way to create a game. Okay, so we're going to create a text adventure in this class, but we're going to, by iterative design, we're going to improve the methodology of the state machine. Okay, so what you're going to get out of this is really an understanding of A, how to do the user interface in a Unity game, and you're B, going to get an understanding of the scene manager. Okay, so those of you that have not taken my class before, don't sweat too much that your iteration isn't really a second iteration of the game. When you take the other game design course that I teach, you'll see what I mean. But you'll understand iterative design based on your article responses and stuff like that. Those of you that have taken the class before, you do have the opportunity to kind of remake a game that you've done before. And because I have students taking these two courses in either order, this is just the best way for me to do it. So let's talk about what the game is constructed like and how it works. I don't know if any of you guys have ever played or read what's called Choose Your Own Adventure books, okay? They were very popular when I was a kid, okay? The Abominable Snowman. Here's one. I had this actual game, right? This book that's right here. So it's Choose Your Own Adventure books are books that you can read, and they give you choices at the end of pages. So the story changes every time based on the choices you make at the end of different pages. You are going to essentially make a choose your own adventure story, and you're going to do it inside of Unity. How are you going to do that? Well, first you have to write the story, and you have to make and you have to allow your player to make choices. So you need to make a map first. And so let's pull up Google Slides to make our map up. And I want you to do this for me, okay? So you're going to go to Google Slides, click on that, and go to Google Slides. You want to use your VCCS account, And whenever you log into your VCCS email, you'll see this grid like this, and you click on it. And Google Slides, there'll be a link to it or a icon for it that you can click on. You've probably done this for other classes in school, but either way, open up Google Slides and create a blank slide presentation. Inside of this, you're going to create a graphic organizer for your story. Let's say I'm writing a story about someone who is on a spaceship and has to repair the spaceship. Okay, so I'll choose a shape here because I'm going to create a graphic organizer, and I'm going to go like this, and this will be scene 1. You're going to have a Google Slide presentation open, and then I want you to also create a Google document. We will call this page 1, okay? Right here, and I'll do text. Ooh, okay, it's the T right here. So I'll go like this, and I'm just going to type, I'll just go number 1 so that I know that that's page 1, okay? And there I have it on my map. Over here, I'm going to say 1 dot. So that's page 1. Page 1 will be my character is flying on a space ship and it has engine trouble. Okay? So I'm typing this out pretty quickly. Your story is going to be more involved, but I don't need you to type a whole page worth of story. Just a couple of sentences for each story. Now, what I recommend is you keep it really simple. Okay, so my player is flying on a spaceship and has engine trouble. So I'll copy this part, just has engine trouble. Go back over to my presentation right here. I'll do another text box. Has engine trouble. Got to format it so it looks okay. Probably make it a little smaller. Let's get rid of the 1. And let's make the letters a little smaller. Just like this. Got it? I'm going to go down here and do that. All right? So has engine trouble. Now, so you have to make a decision about what your player is going to do to try and clear up that engine trouble. And in order to document the decisions, you'll click on the line tool here. Let's do the one with an arrow so that you know which direction the choice can go. And let's give him, for now, let's give our player three choices. So we'll make an arrow here, and I'll draw another bubble. Oops, didn't get it. Shapes. Okay, now I'm going to draw another bubble. This one's going to be one of the ways to fix the problem. Okay, let's do another one. Another way to fix the problem. Click here. And another way to fix the problem. So there's 3 choices. Let's put our arrows in. Bam. And okay. So each of these is going to represent a different page that your player can go to in the game. Look, those of you that have already made a state machine, you can kind of fast forward through this part of the video because you know how to organize your story. But those of you that haven't, just stay with me and you will soon kind of understand what I'm getting at. So I'm just going to do Command C and Command V. Oops. I want to do this, Command C and Command V, and I copy that number 1, and wow, it made that too big for it, but I'll just do this, and I'm going to go 2. And so this is going to be my number for slide 2. again. Let's make this 3. And one more time. We'll make this 4. I'll just move it right there. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 is going to be a good choice, and 2 and 3 are going to be bad choices. So the way I usually organize this, so we have engine trouble. Now our player is going to decide. You're going to give him 3 choices, and you know an easy way to think about it is just rooms on the ship. What room on the ship is the player going to go to? Let's think of 2 kind of dumb rooms if you're trying to repair the engine. So we'll say go to the kitchen. Probably not going to be able to fix the engine in the kitchen. Go to the let's go. Go to quarter? Like go to his cabin. Like isn't that the spaceship word for sleeping quarters or bedroom? Okay, so go to the cabin, or how about go to a smart choice? The engine room. Okay, go to the engine room. So there you go. So there you got 3 choices. Now, the way we'll usually do this is from the bad choices, they'll have the opportunity to go to either the other bad choice or go to the good choice. Okay, so you can set it up like that. And this map shows you what pages in the game will go to other pages in the game. All right, so that one's set up there. Let's put in the arrows to show the same thing from here. Let's see, I'll go just like that, or to the good choice. Just like that. Okay, so now from the text that you write on the first page, and when we start setting up the game in Unity, you'll get what I mean. From this first page, you're going to have some text that'll explain, and this is in my story, that'll explain the beginning of your story, or the beginning of my story is, you know, somehow I'm going to write some text that says that I've got a star pilot on a spaceship and he has engine trouble. And then it's going to say, if you want to fix the kitchen, push the button that says kitchen. If you want to go to your cabin to try and fix the engine, click the button that says cabin. If you want to go to the engine room to try and solve the problem, click on the button that says engine room. Okay? So that's how you, that's the basic logic of how it's set up. And you'll have choices just like this off of these bubbles as the story progresses, you know, and gets larger. So, you know, you could have the character go to the engine room, and from the engine room, the character realizes, oh my goodness, I need this part. And then they could look around the ship in different rooms to try and find a particular part, that kind of thing. So now we've said that 2 is kitchen. So you would write, you know, longer flying on a spaceship, you know, you would write more text. Captain Smith was flying on a spaceship, and his monitor readout told him that he was having engine trouble. Okay. Probably would write a little bit more than that, okay? And then he decided should he investigate, or how about what room should he investigate? Room should he go to try and fix the problem? Okay? Okay, so you do that. Then, 2. We decided that 2 was the kitchen. Captain Smith went to the kitchen. He enjoyed a cup of coffee. Oops. But that didn't help fix the ship. What room should he go to now? Okay, and then over here we had 3, 3 was the cabin. Captain Smith went to his cabin and took a nap. The engines are still broken. Where should he go now? Okay, so that's 3, and then 4 would be the engine room. In the engine room, Captain Smith could see that the ship's flux capacitor was broken and that he would need his toolbox to fix it. Okay. Where should he go to get his toolbox? Okay, so now you've got those 4. You've got the text for those 4 pages. Okay, so I'm not going to compose the entire game right here in front of you. It would end up. I want you to create a more involved bubble map than this. Okay, continuing to branch choices out. Okay, and then on your Google document, you just continue to write in the text for those pages. Okay, for those choices. So now let's talk about how you are going to construct this game in Unity. So click on Unity, and you're going to do New. Let's call it Captain Smith, and I will save it on my desktop. Just choosing desktop right now because that's easy. Choose. So I've got this all set up. It's going to be a 2D game. Create project. Okay, so here we have a blank project. So for this new scene, here's what you do. You're going to do game object, user interface, text. Okay, and right here is a text box. That's going to be page 1. So you're going to go over here and you're going to copy this text. Come over here and paste that right in there like that. Okay, now when you hit play, you're not going to see everything there yet. What you got to do is select text over here. Make sure you go to your scene view of the game. and then you'll probably have to scroll out. When you're working in the user interface, you're working on the canvas, and so it's just kind of funny the way the canvas works. So you got to pull way back until you can see this white line surrounding things, and make sure you click on your text over here in the hierarchy, and it'll get highlighted with these blue handles for your bounding box, and just drag that out so it's bigger. And then you'll be able to see the words. Now, if I really want to see them, I can go over here and increase the size of my font. Let's go to 30. And now you can start to see stuff a little better. Now, if I hit play in Unity, one thing I've noticed is my screen capture camera doesn't really get the image very well. So when I hit this, now I probably on the video you're watching, you can't see what I can see right now, which is the way the game would look. Okay, so I'll just undo that. And so now we've created the first page in the text adventure. The next thing we have to do is add buttons to the game.